even when policy appears gender aware, we know that the predominant norms in society are more often than not reproduced by organisations, institutions like emergency services. They're more often reproduced than they're challenged, and that means that the very embedded prejudices and inequalities that we have in society that are gendered are reproduced within organisations, even though it might be unconscious on behalf of the people who are creating these scenarios where inequalities are part and parcel of everyday policy and procedure. Structures within agencies are evident at most levels, so be it from the job ads that advertise, say, firefighting positions, the language they're written in often is very gendered. It's focused on men because the profession historically has been very male dominated. It's also got a lot to do with perceptions, and these are cultured perceptions that we are cultured into not even questioning in everyday life, which has to do with how we're built, our physique, our psychological characteristics. So men more often are considered to be strong, they've got a better form of stamina, they're less prone to crying, where women are perceived to be physically weaker. They have menstrual cycles that could impact on their ability to perform, say, remote firefighting tasks. But what we then also see there is how that can impact on the resilience of, say, firefighters. So where male firefighters will suppress the emotional distress that can be part and parcel of the job, and therefore not seek help. And we've seen that both in the form of isolated behaviour, we've seen it in form of excessive alcohol intake, we've seen it in the form of just aggressive behaviour, we see it with drugs. It comes across in various disguises, where women, on the other hand, often have to fight very strongly to prove their competencies as firefighters.
Women told us that they felt uncomfortable about phoning the government lines that had been set up. They at times felt like they were speaking to experts, engineers, and they felt at times that they couldn't make themselves understood, and sometimes the answers to the questions they felt they were made to feel silly. So women started phoning our services for practical information, things that were well beyond the information that they would have been contacting us with regard to their violence experience, but much more about where to or how to get your chimney replaced, how to get water running, and how to access portaloos. So the very practical elements that women felt comfortable in asking us about. Well, it was a very unexpected role for the women at Christchurch Women's Refuge to have to provide information of a practical nature. But what we found is that the women in the community not only felt comfortable in contacting us, but they trusted the information that they received from us, and that they felt that they could ask such a broad range of questions without being made to feel silly.
Our research with women exposed gendered expectations of them that they would sacrifice their own well-being for the greater good. Women had to pull back to a supportive, wifely, nurturing role, sometimes forfeiting the right to live free from violence.